I played 100 Days of Stardew Valley Mega Modded, and here's what happened. Hi everyone, my name is Sav, and welcome to the biggest project that I have on the channel so far. I have over 100 mods installed, ranging from expansion packs to new quality of life features and of course various aesthetic mods. Because I have so many installed, I won't go over every single one, but I will point out a few as we go along, and you can also find a list of all of the mods down below. Don't have much more to say about the intro, now sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack, and enjoy the video. While I'm setting up my character, let's talk about the goals I have for year 1. As per usual, I want to try and complete the community center. Emphasis on try, I have a little surprise regarding the community center, which I'll talk about later. I want to upgrade my house at least once, and possibly get one tool to iridium quality. That's about it. I settled on the name Moonlight Farm, still to this day I can never come up with my own farm names, and here we are on the new map. This being a modded run, I of course had to play on a modded farm, and we're playing on the Immersive Farm 2 Remastered. I cleaned up a little area and planted the free parsnip seeds that I got from Lewis, crafted my first chest, and made my way into town, where I immediately got a cutscene with Lewis and Lenny, one of the new characters. As I mentioned in the beginning, I am playing with 2 expansion mods, being Stardew Valley Expanded and Ridgeside Village. Lenny is Lewis' bigger sister and chief administrator of Ridgeside. I'll talk more about the expansions a bit later. I stopped by Pierre's to buy some seeds and noticed that he has a few new items in stock, different fruit saplings and cucumber seeds. I dumped all my money on the cucumber seeds as these can provide multiple harvests, and that's always super handy. I made sure to talk with every single person that I came across, like Sophia, who owns the Blue Moon Vineyard, and Andy from Fairhaven Farm. I picked up any forage that I saw on my way, planted the new seeds, and got my first level in foraging while clearing debris on the farm. After I ran out of energy, I was back in town to meet more people. I'd like to talk about each and every single person, but with all the mods, I have almost 70 villagers. That's a lot of people. So I'll go into more detail whenever I get a cutscene with someone. I had a peek inside the Joja Mart where I said hello to Morris, who has his own cutscenes and friendship meter in Stardew Expanded. Also, I completely forgot that in the expanded mods, the seed at Joja Mart are always cheaper, even without the membership, which is something I'll definitely remember and not immediately forget about. Day number 2, I met Martin, one of the 2 new Joja employees, went down to the beach where I stumbled upon Willie, who just came back from a month-long fishing trip. He finally made enough money to afford a new rod and gifted me his old one since he won't be using it anymore. Thanks Willie, appreciated. Fishing is by far the best activity early on in spring, so that's exactly what I did. And let's all appreciate the visible fish mod and dynamic reflections. I was busy at the beach until I reached fishing level 1, had a small heart attack when I saw Elliot. What have they done to you? Yeah, not a fan of his new portrait. I dropped all of the fish at home and continued with fishing in town until I reached level 2. Also got the Fisherman achievement. Wednesday was the first rainy day. I planted any leftover mixed seeds. Also Hat Mouse is already here, thanks to the achievement I got yesterday. This time I was fishing at the mountain lake. Wasn't here for too long as my inventory filled up rather quickly. I accepted a request from Robin where she wants me to collect 20 pieces of wood, which I did right away. Brought everything over to her and got some easy money for that. Back to fishing where I found a tadpole and a bit later the adult form, a frog. I wanted to keep them because I think these are love gifts for Sebastian, but I need the money more than friendship points at the moment. And we reached level 3 in fishing. Day number 4 I was enjoying the puddles on my farm. I love playing modded. I had enough money to treat myself and purchase the backpack upgrade from Pierre's. It was time to explore Ridgeside Village, so I went up the cable car and in town got greeted by Lenny, who gave me a tour. Ridgeside Village is an expansion mod that adds new forage, fish, quests, events, and of course new NPCs. And I gotta say, out of all the expansion mods that I've played, this is my favorite one. It is so well done, and it kind of reminds me of my home. Anyways, some key locations around town are the Log Cabin Hotel, Town Square, and Pika's, where I can buy tons of new recipes. I thanked her for the tour, and I was off to meeting more townies. Richard, who owns the hotel, Isabel, his granddaughter, and I love her new portrait, she looks so cute. She also works at the hotel. Paula, a former armor medic, and Faye, aspiring designer. She makes and sells her own clothes, which I'm very excited to check out later. While exploring around town, I came across a mysterious man. This is Gio, who was very surprised that I was able to see his ears. I mean, yeah, you're not wearing your beanie, and I'm not blind. We had very awkward small talk, and then he just disappeared. He's a very important character that I'll talk about later. Much later. Ridgeside has a smaller forest area to the south of town where I can find tons of new forage every season. Most of these are loved items for quite a few people, so I'll be sure to come here frequently. I dropped off everything back at home, then went to the Cinesep forest to look for even more forage. Stopped by Hatmouse and she has her very own portrait. So adorable. In the expanded mod, the Cinesep forest has a whole new area and it's absolutely massive. Again, lots of forage, but I was mainly here for the free forest sword you can find, which I'll need tomorrow. Friday morning I had Marnie waiting for me outside and she had a puppy with her. Obviously I'm taking her in, and Emma it is. Aren't you just the most adorable thing ever? I had my first parsnip harvest, and that bumped me up to farming level 1. In town I got the community center cutscene with Lewis, I don't think I need to show this, had a look at the weird golden tablet inside, spent all my money on seeds at piers, and after planting some of them I was off to the mountain lake because the boulder got finally removed, which means I have access to the mines now. Inside I had a chat with Marlon, who warned me about the dangers that lurk beneath, and gave me a rusty old sword to defend myself. That's really nice and all, but I already have a way better weapon. Same as Morris, Marlon is a fully fledged out NPC and he's pretty important as well, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So down I went. Not really much to say about this trip. I found my first geode and made it to floor 10 without any issues. I said goodnight to Emma and reached level 1 in mining. Since I found some ores yesterday, I had Clint visiting me and he gave me a blueprint for a furnace. I don't know how he knows that I was in the mines, but thanks I guess. Got a letter from the local wizard who wants to discuss the rat problem in the community center. Crafted my first scarecrow and furnace. After that I made my way over to the wizard tower, where I got acquainted with Rasmodius. I believe he's actually a romance option in Expanded, but I'm not sure about that. He showed me a tiny rat. I told him about the strange tablet I found in the community center, drank a weird potion, and voila! I can now understand the language of the Junimos. Thanks, man. In town I went to the museum for the first time to donate all the artifacts that I found yesterday, also to say hello to Gunther. I headed over to the community center again to look at the bundles, and it looks a bit different than in the vanilla version. This is the surprise I was talking about. I have a mod installed that makes the bundles a bit more challenging, and I'm already regretting my choices. It was a neutral luck day, but I still wanted to try and make some progress in the mines, and I'm so glad I came here as I found a small magnet ring in a crate. Almost didn't see it because it was so dark. I had an infested floor shortly after, which is always incredibly fun, and somehow made it to floor 20. Next morning I finished a request for Evelyn, dropped off any spring forage that I had at the community center. Now I just need to wait for salmon berries to spawn, parsnip for Louis' birthday, spend some time fishing by the beach. Also I gave Elliot his vanilla portrait back. You look perfect as you are, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I sold most of the fish to Willy directly until I had enough gold for the new fiberglass rod, and the rest went into bait. After that I took the cable car up to Ridgeside, where I saw a Junimo that shooed me away. Rude guy? I was mainly here for forage, but also to meet more people, as I am still missing a few. Like Irene, who works for the Amethyst family, Torts, a very grumpy turtle, and Freddy, who lives in this tiny purple house with his wife, Lola. That is still not everyone, but I was too lazy to look for more people, so I headed back home and went to bed. Day number 8 was a good luck day, so it was time to go to the mines again. I leveled up my combat skill and surprisingly already completed my first Monster Slayer goal, which was for cave insects. I got a decent amount of copper ore from my trip and made it to level 30 without any trouble. After tending to my crops on day 9, I found a golden carrot seed right outside my farm. That's definitely new. I finished a request for George, which landed me my very first prize ticket. I immediately headed over to Lewis, where I got the intro cutscene for the ticket machine. If you don't know, this came with the 1.6 update and is not a mod. Every third request that I do earns me 1 prize ticket, which I can turn in here for random rewards. And this time I got 12 carrot seeds. Back at the farm I had Willy waiting for me. He informed me about Shearwater Bridge and that there are special types of fish that I can catch over there. Good thing that he came, because honestly I kinda forgot about this area. I made my way to Ridgeside to give Anton a birthday present, learned that they have their own request board here as well, which is nice, and to do some fishing. I caught a red-bellied dace, cutthroat trout, mountain whitefish, and Ridgeside bass. In the evening I crafted another chest, organized everything, and went to bed where I reached level 5 in fishing. And of course I took the fisher profession for that extra cash. Wednesday morning I saw Morris in town just waving Joja flyers around. Whether you like this guy or not, you can't deny the fact that he sure takes his job serious. By now I had enough money accumulated to afford my first tool upgrade, which was for the pickaxe. What I love about the UI info suit, it even tells you when Clint is done with the upgrade. Very nice. Dropped off any new artifacts and minerals at the museum, Vincent got a daffodil for his birthday, and then I remembered that I wanted to check out Shearwater Bridge, which is located right next to the blacksmith. As Willie mentioned, there's new types of fish that I can catch, and I tried for a little bit, but yeah, that wasn't happening. I'll come back a bit later. While walking back, I came across an old rundown garden space, and I wonder if I get to use this later on. I gave Elliot a clam since I know that he likes beach forageables, and in return he gifted me a mountain whitefish. This is thanks to the reciprocate mod, however you pronounce it, where NPCs have a chance to gift you something back. While cleaning up later in the evening, I suddenly remembered that I have working minecarts around the farm, because the plot is so incredibly huge. Also, I can pick up seasonal forage on the immersive farm, which is very nice. Day 11, I got a letter from Gunther, who thanked me for the donations I brought him yesterday. This is part of the Museum Pays mod, where I get a small amount of money every 10th donation. Got my first kale and carrot harvest, planted those gold carrot seeds, and more cauliflowers. I gave Isabel a gold quality mountain arugula for her birthday, and finally met the last few people. Maddie, who works at the lab in Ridgeside, Aria, one of the two Emethin children, and Corinne, who works part-time at Pikas. Only took 11 days to meet everyone. Not looking forward to befriending all of them, but that's a problem for another day. Back at home I stopped by Fairhaven Farm, where I had a chat with Andy. So Andy is part of Stardew Expanded, which is by far the most popular mod for Stardew Valley, for a good reason. This mod got a huge update not too long ago, and I haven't read any of the patch notes, so I'm super excited to see what's new. Anyways, he talked about how he only uses Joja fertilizer for his crops, which supposedly makes them healthier. I mean, I'm not judging, whatever suits you, buddy. But more importantly, he said he has a welcome gift for me, being strawberry seeds. Yes please, never gonna say no to free stuff. He will send them to me once he has some time, which was the very next day. There it is, 3 strawberry seeds just like that, which I planted right away. The copper pick was done, met the cutest boy Dusty, Alex's dog. I love his design, he looks so adorable. The bookseller was in town for the first time, not that I can afford anything right now, but I was curious if he had anything new in stock, but it doesn't seem like it. When I visited Andy yesterday, I made sure to grab Robin's lost axe, which I returned to her for some easy money. Initially, I had planned to go into the mines, but it was a bad luck day, so I thought it was best to just do more foraging in Ridgeside. And I almost forgot to check the traveling merchant. I do this pretty much every Friday and Sunday, so I won't be mentioning this unless I buy something from her. Also made it to level 4 in foraging. On Saturday I got my first cucumber and cauliflower harvest. I prepped the field for future seeds, then it was time for the egg festival. I immediately noticed that Shane had a new outfit, and it's perfect. In fact, there was quite a few of the townies who had special outfits, and I loved that. I bought 20 strawberry seeds from the stall. Yes, I could have bought more, but then I would also need to water them every day, and I didn't feel like losing my sanity just yet. I was a bit nervous about the egg hunt because I know that the egg layout is a bit different in Expanded, and also there's more people participating. With the last seconds ticking down, I managed to collect 9 eggs in total. And somehow that was enough. I won. Give me that straw hat, Lewis. Unfortunately, the hat somehow makes my hair 10 times shorter, which is not okay. I do not like having short hair, so I'll need to look into that soon. For now, I planted all the strawberry seeds and headed to bed, where I reached level 2 in farming. Day 14, I purchased a tea sapling from the traveling cart. Very expensive, but I need that for the community center, and right now I don't really have any time to befriend Caroline. Waited for Haley to come out of her damn room so I can give her a birthday present, and in return I received some Highland ice cream, which I'll need very soon. On my way to the mines, I found a new artifact, a faded button, and spent most of my day trying to make some progress in the mines. I was struggling a lot. I hate these start levels so much. Thanks to the ice cream that I got from Haley earlier, I had just enough energy to reach level 40. After that, I wanted to sell the loot that I found to the guild, where I got a cutscene with Marlon. He asked me if I wanted to join the adventure guild, and of course I said yes. I mean, you don't really get a choice here anyways, you kinda have to join. That's when I remembered that I unlocked a new weapon a while back, the insect head. It's actually better than the forest sword, so I'll be using this from now on. It is the first day of salmonberry season, meaning that I finally have everything to finish the first bundle in the community center. This rewarded me with 50 spring seeds instead of the usual 30. Also now I have access to the pantry and fish tank, where I saw that the pantry even has a garden bundle. Good thing I bought some flower seeds before. After that I opened some geodes at Clint's and commissioned a copper axe. Then visited Sophia, where she gave me a free sprinkler as a welcome gift. It's a quality one too. Thank you very much. I ventured into the Cinnasep forest to look for more berries, where I stumbled upon Andy, who was hanging around Aurora Vineyard. It looks pretty run down, both inside and outside, and it makes me wonder if I get to use this place later on. Morning of day 16 was spent looking for more salmon berries. Midday I went back to Shearwater Bridge to try and catch any new fish. I wasn't having any luck. In fact, I had quite the bad day of fishing. I thought I would have an easier time at the beach, but nope. At least I got to level 6 in fishing before heading back home. Wednesday was raining again. You know what that means? More fishing. But first I was tending to my crop field. The golden carrot was done growing and it sells for a whopping 1000 gold. I have no idea if I need this for something else later, so I'm gonna hold on to it for now. I finished a request for Robin, which earned me a second prize ticket, and on my way to the blacksmith, I saw Penny with an umbrella. Have I mentioned how much I love playing modded? Picked up my shiny new axe, opened more geodes, which gave me more donations for the museum. From the prize ticket machine I got a free peach sapling, which I planted right away on the farm. Bought 1 trout soup from Willy, and then I was busy with fishing in town. I need to get my hands on a few catfish, and I caught one shortly after. I've been getting pretty unlucky with treasure chests so far. Almost all of them only have coal inside, which is not bad, but it's not exactly great either. Later by the beach I managed to catch a halibut and eel. The eel was dropped off at the community center, and after going to bed I saw Mr. G flying around the valley, which means that I can find mystery boxes from now on. On day 18 I was feeling a bit lonely on the farm. Sure, I have Emma, but I need something more tiny and fluffy. So I headed over to Robin's, where I commissioned a coop. I made a quick detour into the mines. I wasn't here for too long, as I only wanted to finish a request for the wizard. For slaying 20 dust sprites I got over 1000 gold. Easy money. Pam got a birthday beer at the saloon, where she gave me a puppy in return. This is actually huge, as I need quite a few of these for the bundles. The evening was spent on the farm, cleaning up more debris and chopping down trees. I reached level 3 in farming that day, which unlocked the butter churner. No idea what this is. Friday was not that eventful. I wanted to do more fishing as it was raining, but it was a very good luck day, so naturally I was off to the mines, where I spent most of the day. I found my very first coffee bean and mystery box, more wood chopping on the farm, which pushed me to level 5 in foraging. And I took the gatherer profession for a chance to get double forage. The first strawberries were ready on day 20, got a cutscene with Isabel while visiting the Log Cabin Hotel. She asked if I could stay a little while and keep her company until she gets off work. I had a pleasant conversation with her until she mentioned that I am, and I quote, too kind. Way to ruin a nice conversation with someone. I was actually here to talk to her grandfather, Richard, to turn in a request he posted a while ago. It seems like the requests that get posted here on the notice board don't expire, which I'm not sure is intentional or a bug. Either way, thanks for the 1000 gold. I had enough wood by now to repair the broken bridge down by the beach, and this was so worth it, as I got a lot of extra forage that day. I managed to catch a starfish while I was here, and finally had a good treasure chest, with 2 iridium ore inside. Before heading back home I made sure to give Shane a birthday present, and got an emerald in return. Day 21, Robin was done with the coop construction, so I headed straight over to Marnie's, where I got a cutscene with Shane, who passed out in his room. Don't worry, he's fine. I sprinkled some water on his head. There you go. Anyways, I bought 4 chickens. Everyone say hello to Bobby, Kiwi, Chico, and Poncho. Today I had everything ready for the spring crop bundle. The cauliflowers, potatoes, strawberries, and beans. Now I have access to the boiler room. This is usually the easiest and fastest one to finish, but yeah, not this time. They even want an iridium bar for the blacksmith bundle, so yeah, this is gonna take some time. I purchased 2 flooring recipes from Robin, then started to lay out a tree farm area, which took up the remaining day. 22, I had Demetrius at my front door. Long story short, he wants to set up the cave that I have on the farm and turn it into something useful. Now, I know that there's new fruit saplings with all the mods that I have, so the fruit bed cave seemed like an obvious choice. While running around, I noticed that the paths don't really match the current color palette that I have, so I'll need to look into a mod for that soon. I made my way over to Ridgeside village, where I stumbled upon Lenny. She had a little project for me in mind. There are multiple old minecarts scattered around the village, which haven't been used for a very long time. If I gather enough materials, we can restore them once more, and I would also be able to use them. It's actually not as many materials as I thought it would be, but it's still gonna take a bit of time until I have everything. I did my usual foraging run while in the area and then went back to the farm to clean up the animal area a bit more. Day 23 started with appreciating the new path mod that I downloaded. This looks much better. Remembered that I can make fertilizer for the crops, found the entrance to the fruit bat cave, and there's even another area attached to it, with some random geodes and minerals laying around. I have no memory of that. I didn't really know what else to do, so I decided to head to the mines. Not much to report. I did find another dwarf scroll, which is pretty lucky. Later I came across Shane in the Cinesep forest, where we shared a cold beer together. I don't really like beer, but I didn't want it to be rude either, so I just chucked everything down in one go. I was actually here to visit Andy, as it was his birthday, and luckily he was still up when I reached his house. I leveled up my foraging skill again and can craft lightning rods now, which I should really do before summer. Day 24, the chickens have all grown up, which means I'll get daily eggs from now on. I cleaned up the farm a bit more and then made my way into the Cinesep forest to participate in the annual flower dance. And I just have to mention again, I love the festival outfits. It's such a nice detail. Even Linus is all dressed up. I made sure to chat with everyone, and thankfully I had enough friendship points to ask Shane if he wants to be my dance partner. Usually I never participate in the dance in year 1, so that's a first. This is always super awkward to watch, as I record without any music on, since I edit that in myself. But hey, I reached farming level 5 that day, and I took the tiller profession. The next morning I had Lewis waiting for me outside, who said he was checking my shipping bin? Who starts a conversation like that? I just woke up, man.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
I couldn't tell you what this cutscene was about. He then started talking about checking Andy's shipping bin. I guess this is just supposed to be small talk. Anyways, I crafted 2 Mayo machines, commissioned a steel pick from Clint, donated the stuff I found yesterday in the mines, and already got all 4 dwarf scrolls, meaning that I have access to the Dwarfish translation guide. Definitely the earliest I've ever gotten this. I'm always extremely unlucky with those scrolls. I remember in the vanilla 100 days video, that was like one of the last items I donated. So I was ecstatic about this. While in town I accepted a request for the wizard, which was the exact same one as last time, to slay 20 dust sprites, and since I could really use the money and the prize ticket, I attended to that right away. This took a lot longer than I thought it would, but at least I managed to find my first summer squash seeds while down there, so that's nice. I turned in the request later in the evening, and for the prize ticket I got 10 mixed seeds, which I'm gonna save for summer. On Friday I accepted yet another request. This time it was for Emily, and I'm not gonna mention these anymore as I do these almost every day. Pierre got a fresh egg for his big day, not like he deserves it, but I have no choice as I need to befriend everyone. And yes, this is going to be a perfection run in case I haven't mentioned it. At least that's the end goal. I really didn't do that much today. I mostly just ran around looking for forage, both in the valley and Ridgeside. When I came back to the farm later, I was surprised to see Lorenzo. He owns a small store in Ridgeside together with his wife, Shanice. He actually knew my grandma and grandpa and visited the farm a few times when he was younger. He told me that my grandfather helped them out quite a lot when they moved to the valley, and he's here to repay his kindness. He gave me some speed grow, spaghetti, 1,000 gold, and an old foxtail charm. The charm used to belong to my grandmother and is a special item that will help us later. Saturday morning I received a few cooking recipes in the mail, but also a letter from Lewis where I got 500 gold for being this month's best neighbor. Is this new or one of the mods? No idea, but thanks for the free cash. I headed over to Clint's where I picked up the new pick and commissioned a steel axe right away. Dropped off a few items for the boiler room. With the new pickaxe I can already destroy the rocks near the mine entrance, and it feels really nice to speak with the dwarf this early on in the game. I purchased the weathered floor recipe from him, and then spent a few in-game hours in the mines, where after a little while made it to floor 70. Thanks to the grinding I did that day, I was able to craft a glow ring, and finally I can actually see what I'm doing during nighttime. That took way too long. It is the final day of spring. I collected any remaining crops and forage on the field, went to Ridgeside village for a few birthdays, Sonny and Bert, commissioned a silo from Robin, and while there bought a few more flooring recipes. I crafted a few of each to try and figure out which one I liked the best, and I decided on the weathered variant, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave it like that. Also, I have a mod installed that lets me walk faster on paths and floorings. I found 2 new fruits in the Bat Cave, Nectarine and Persimmon, is that how you say it? With the remaining energy I had, I was once again just cleaning up the farm. I made it over to Grandpa's shed, which is all the way to the east side of the farm, and had a first look inside. Not much I can do here right now, so I left and headed to bed. On this beautiful first summer day, I had Robin outside my door. She was here to take a look at the old shed. Together we headed over to inspect the building. She let me know that she could actually refurbish the building if she had the right materials, and that I should visit her at the carpenter so we can discuss everything more thoroughly. After that, I was appreciating my little frog on the mailbox. I love how it has a different look in summer. While looking at the seeds to plant, I remembered the coffee bean that I got a while ago from the mines. Why didn't I plant it right away? I was under the impression that they only grow during summer. In fact, they grow both during summer and spring. Have I mentioned that I have over 700 hours in this game? Still a noob sometimes. As I walked out of the farm, I got halted by Pika and his son Keihi? I'm definitely mispronouncing that. Who were on their way down to the beach to pick up Keihi's mom. I tagged along with them, where I saw there was already a rainbow shell on the beach. Definitely have to pick this up after. Leilani was gone for the past 3 seasons due to her work at the University of Ember Island. I introduced myself and then I was on my merry way. Over at Pierre's, I bought a few of each of the summer seeds, prepped the field with already future quality sprinkler spots in mind. I planted that coffee bean and the new butternut squash seeds. They take a very long time to grow, so I used some of my precious speed grow on them. I crafted 2 lightning rods for the upcoming summer storms, then sprinted down to the beach where I in fact did not see the rainbow shell, which is very unfortunate, but not much I can do about it. Tuesday morning I picked up the steel axe from Clint, donated a few more items to the museum, spent some time fishing at the beach where I managed to catch a pufferfish and at the same time reached level 7 in fishing. You'll love to see it. Shortly after there was a pufferfish frenzy right next to Willie's shop where I managed to catch quite a few of them, which is great since they sell for a nice chunk of money. At the mountain lake I got my hands on a sturgeon, and on my way back to the farm I dug up my first book, Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Thick. +1 defense is nothing crazy, but it's still a good find. Day 31 I had a new face outside my house, Susan. She owns Emerald Farm next to the railroad track and has been trapped up there for several weeks due to the rock slide that was caused by Georgia, and they just couldn't be bothered to clean up the mess up until yesterday. That's kinda awful, but she's here now, so that's cool. It was a good luck day, but before heading to the mines, I gave Penny a leftover artifact that I had on me, and I love her summer outfit. She looks adorable. While spelunking, I made sure to kill every skeleton that I came across in hopes of getting a bone sword, or whatever the name is, but I had no luck with that. And I got reminded that I should really buy a bag upgrade tomorrow. In the evening I was chopping trees on the farm, where I obtained Woody's Secret. I reached level 5 in mining, and I took the miner profession to get more ore. Thursday I wanted to give Jazz a birthday present, but got impatient, so I left. Still no rainbow shell on the beach. In town I overheard Morris and Louis talking about the landslide event, that Susan wasn't even informed about the operation, and that Joja is dumping trash in the local river. But Morris didn't even let him finish his sentence and just responded with, "Yeah, but we're not doing anything illegal here. Okay, dude?" Louis left shortly after and Morris turned to me and said, "Joja is paving the way to greatness." Very cult-like, my guy. Relax. I am already looking forward to a modded Joja run. Jazz finally came out of her room, so I gave her the flower, brought the bag upgrade from Pierre's. On my way back I saw 2 lost souls near the bus stop, Malaya and her husband, Kimpoi. Okay, so this is like a 10-minute long cutscene, so I'm gonna try my best to make it short. So Kimpoi and Malaya just came back from an almost 10-year-long trip, and since it's been so long they had trouble finding their way to the cable car. I showed them the way, when all of a sudden Olga, which is also Kimpoi's sister, came out of the cable car with her husband, Bert. Apparently Malaya and Kimpoi didn't inform anyone about their return, so Olga was a bit confused at first. Turns out that Kimpoi and Malaya have a daughter, which is Alyssa, which has been living with Olga and Bert all these years. And now the parents don't really know how to approach their daughter anymore. But they didn't really have a choice anyways, as Alyssa just kinda ran into them. She was very happy to see them again, and now they can live together once more. I had to mention this because the cutscene is important for the story later and also for Alyssa's heart events. It hasn't been explained why her parents were gone for almost a full decade, and I also don't know, so no spoilers, or I will be angry. I spent most of the day in Ridgeside to look for new summer forage and new fish, like this fixer eel and a sculpin fish. Once again I was chopping down trees later that night, where I got another woody secret. Day 33, an ominous green rain poured down on the valley, and I cannot get over how much I love my mailbox mod. Look at him, he turned into a little snail guy. The tree farm is coming along nicely. I really need to craft some tappers for them soon. Most of the day was spent in the Cindersap forest to collect moss, fiber and fiddlehead fern. There was also a new type of fish in the pond that I haven't seen before, though I had no luck catching it. Later I stopped by Hatmouth's shop, where I treated myself and purchased the lucky bow. And as you can see, it comes with +1 luck while wearing it. This is thanks to the Skillful Clothes revamp mod, and at last I have my long hair back. Feels good. Since I have an upgraded axe and pick, I was able to grab the alleyway buffet while in town, which increases the chance of finding items in trash cans. The following morning I had Kimpoi waiting for me outside. He let me know that Nightingale Orchard is now open again, where I can buy new types of fruit trees. The first hot peppers were ready to harvest, which pushed me to farming level 6. I donated 2 new items to the museum, which earned me the Treasure Trove achievement and got my first rare crow as a reward. I was delighted to see a rainbow shell at the beach, headed straight over to the community center and finished the summer foraging bundle. That's why I needed the rainbow shell, by the way. This unlocked the bulletin board, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very afraid to take a look, rightfully so. The chef's bundle now wants caviar and a coconut. The home cook I think is from the remix bundles, but I'm not sure. Fodder is the same, but with additional carrots and amaranth. Same with the dye bundle plus the squid ink. Field research is the easiest one, thank god. Children bundle is cooked items as well, and lastly we have the enchanter bundle, and it's a nightmare. Sweet gemberry and an ancient fruit. On top of that, I also need to find the Book of Stars somehow. This is gonna take some time for sure. But that's a problem for another day. I got my hands on another prize ticket for finishing a request for Elliot. This gave me 3 mystery boxes, and I was disappointed to see 4 quality sprinklers instead of the preserve jars that were there in the spot last time. Oh well. Speaking about sprinklers, since I'll be finally unlocking quality sprinklers by tomorrow, I went to gather gold ore in the mines. In the evening I placed down the scarecrow, and that reminded me that I have a scarecrow mod installed. Much better. Sunday I got some free melon seeds from Susan in the mail, thank you very much. I headed over to the carpenter, where I got a cutscene with Robin. This was about the shed repairs, and she gave me a list for the necessary materials. I know this is gonna take a ton of wood and iron bars, so I'll focus on that a bit later. I was here to commission my first barn, which got placed right next to the coop. I spent most of the day on the farm, just waiting for the ores to smelt so that I can craft those sprinklers. I made 2 mayor machines, chopped down some trees, and I kid you not, I got another woody secret. Hey, I'll take the free foraging XP. By the end of the day, I managed to make 9 quality sprinklers. I think that's a pretty good start, and if you're wondering why I haven't made any of the regular sprinklers, I don't think they're worth the materials, so I usually just wait for the quality ones. Day 36, I harvested my first coffee beans and poppy flowers. In town I stumbled upon Demetrius, where he explained the history of Stardew Valley to me. I really enjoyed that they gave him a good cutscene and expanded. He has such terrible ones in the vanilla version. I dropped off a few items at the community center, unlocking the final room, being the vault. Thankfully, this one is unchanged. It's the same amount of money as always. I opened some geodes at the blacksmith and got incredibly lucky with some iridium ore. Since I crafted so many sprinklers yesterday, I had almost no ore left, so the remaining time was spent in the mines. I found very little ore nodes down there since it was a bad luck day, but when I came back home I saw that I somehow managed to get an ancient seed. Needless to say, I was super happy about that find. Made the first few tappers for the tree farm, and immediately went to Gunter the following day for the actual seed, which I planted right away with some deluxe speed growth fertilizer on top. Olga got a strawberry for her birthday, did the usual foraging route while in Ridgeside. I chopped down this big wooden log, which opened up a new area. Gio was waiting for me on the other side, where he warned me about the dangers in the forest. He mentioned that this place holds many secrets, and if I share anything I find here with him, he will grant me valuable items and spiritual essence in return. Now, I remember from my last modded run that this area is tough. There are a lot of new monsters here, and I am nowhere near prepared for this, so I'll come back once I have better gear. And speaking about tough monsters, I wanted to make some progress down in the mines again, but on floor 89, I got overwhelmed by a wave of bats and passed out. Thankfully, Robin managed to drag me out of there. I didn't lose anything too valuable, just a bit of gold and a few random items, so it's not the end of the world. Day 38, the butternut squash were done growing and they sell for a hefty amount of gold. Robin finished the barn construction that day, so I headed over to Marnie's where I bought 4 cows. Margit, Moke, Margot, and Macaw. I gave Maru a golden strawberry for a big day and got a sandfish in return, one step closer to finishing the fish tank. Today I had more luck in the mines. On floor 90 I got the obsidian edge from the chest, a much needed weapon upgrade. On an infested floor one of the slimes dropped the monster companion and successfully made it to floor 100 where I found my very first star drop. Was about time really. I reached level 6 in mining and level 5 in combat where I took the fighter profession. On Thursday was the annual Luau festival. I made sure to talk with everyone for the easy friendship points, and as per usual I brought a gold quality cauliflower for the potluck soup, earning me the unforgettable soup achievement. The next day I received an interesting letter from Robin where she mentioned that they found an extra room in the farm cave. I have to remember to check that out soon. At this point I was really struggling with chest space. There are so many new items with all the mods I have installed, and I need more space ASAP. So I was off to the carpenter where I bought the big chest recipe. Very expensive, but also worth it. I also stopped by the community center where I finished the blacksmith, adventurer and treasure hunter bundle. Now I'm only missing the battery and refined quartz for the engineer bundle. I had a whole lot of cutscenes happening that day, so I'm gonna make it snappy. First I helped Ian with his deliveries. He lives in Ridgeside and works at odd jobs together with John. He's also a potential future husband. I overheard Alyssa practicing her singing voice, but she got embarrassed and ran off. I went on a little walk with Maeve, the matriarch of the wealthy Amethyst family. Like everyone else here, she knew my grandpa and was even interested in buying Moonlight Farm. Don't you already have enough expensive things? And that she has very high expectations of me. Okay, Mom. And lastly, I had lunch at Pika's. I was allowed to test out a new dish he just made, and it was delicious. Back at the farm, I made the first 3 big chests and was busy with reorganizing everything. I also made sure to craft more lightning rods as it's gonna storm tomorrow, and laid out a few stone paths around the house. On 41, I reached farming level 7 while picking up my melon harvest. I had a look inside the farm cave, where there was indeed a second room now, with a Junimo hut inside and a few rocks to mine. I found a buttload of forage down by the beach, and with that managed to finish the crab pot bundle. I completely forgot that I wanted to buy more seeds that day, and luckily the Georgia Mart was still open, where I bought more melon and butternut seeds. I should really come here more often because buying seeds in large quantities makes a huge difference since, as I said before, you get them cheaper here. Purchased a rare seed from the traveling cart the next day and visited the secret woods for the first time. This area looks a bit different now and is also a lot bigger, with more hardwood stumps and brand new forage to find. I caught a wood skip from the pond, saw that there's a path that leads straight to my farm as well, but I cannot be bothered to clean this up, so I left. At the town river I caught a rainbow trout and shortly after finished both the lake fish and engineer's bundle. With that, completed my first room in the community center. Before going back home, I made sure to grab all the forage from the beach when I noticed that there was a boat at the docks. Upon interacting with it, I got transported to an area called Rampleton Fields. Never seen this before. This area is massive, like almost the size of Pelican Town. There was also a magical house, which looks very similar to the Wizard's Tower. The note reads, "By appointment only, Atlantis V." So I guess I'll come back later. After going to bed, I saw the Junimos hard at work repairing the minecarts around town. Day 43 was spent in the mines, all day. And on 44, I did the exact same thing. I found so many diamond nodes on my trip and finally made it to floor 120, where I got the skull key. Also, I made my first cheese press since the cows are all grown up by now. And in the evening I got another prize ticket for doing a request for Olivia, which I traded in for 1 star drop tea. While checking up on my animals the next day, I noticed that the cheese somehow made its way from the machine to the chest. That's when I realized that I indeed have the Automate mod installed. And boy do I wish this was in vanilla Stardew as well. Sam got some Highland ice cream for his birthday. then visited the blacksmith where I got a new cutscene with Clint. I think it's new at least. He told me that he gets nervous and awkward around people and hopes that I will still visit him in the future, even if it's just for upgrading my tools. Yeah, about that. Thanks for the gold pick upgrade. I'll come back with a gift next time. I finally had enough clay accumulated to finish the construction bundle and also the exotic forage bundle. The rest of the day was spent on the farm, chopping trees. Day 46, I added 3 more sprinklers to the crop layout, then had another cutscene with Clint, this time by the railroad track. In the expanded mod, the summit is technically available right from the start, but I need to remove this boulder first. Clint said he needs a very strong explosive for that, and I should visit him at his shop to discuss further details. I was actually up here because I wanted to commission a coop upgrade from Robin, but she wasn't at home, so that's cool. So instead I was busy with doing random requests, since by now I had so many quests piling up in my journal, and it's easy money and friendship points. The next morning I had everything ready for the summer crops bundle, which gave me 3 quality sprinklers as a reward. Demetrius got a strawberry for his birthday, and while there, commissioned that coop upgrade. At the traveling cart I bought another rare seed. I'll need quite a few of these for different tasks. Then I wasted half of my money buying melon seeds and speed grow fertilizer because I didn't realize it was already too late, meaning they don't have enough time to fully mature anymore this season, even with the speed grow. So that's great, just love wasting money. On day 48 I went over to the wizard tower where I wanted to give Rasmodius a gift, but I couldn't find him. I went looking down in the basement where I snooped around in his old books when he suddenly teleported right next to me. At first he was a bit annoyed that I went down here unannounced, but quickly changed his mind and said if I really want to learn more about arcane knowledge, he'd be happy to teach me some light magic in the future. It was the annual trout derby that day, so you know what that means. Cue the fishing montage. I love her Carmen and her daughter Blair are also attending the festival. I gifted her a shad since that's one of her love gifts, and in return she gave me a freaking octopus. I was incredibly happy about that since I need one of those for the fish tank, and the octopus is one of the hardest fish to catch, so I was happy I don't have to worry about that now. I stayed until 6 in the evening where I traded my 4 golden tags for a tent kit, crab pot, mystery box and a diamond. Before going to bed I crafted a bait maker and put in all the rainbow trouts that I caught. The following day I visited the blacksmith to pick up my new pickaxe, and while there Clint told me about the materials that he'll need to remove the boulder that is blocking the summit entrance. Lots of iridium ore, so that'll have to wait until I reach the skull cavern. I came with a gift for him as promised and commissioned a gold axe. Then I was back to fishing. I wish I made the bait maker before I went to the festival yesterday, because this is so much easier. But my happiness got crushed very soon once Willy arrived because he shamelessly destroyed my machine. He quite literally just walked over it. Why is that even a thing? I was considering restarting the day, but it's fine. I have more than enough rainbow trout for the remaining event, but I have to remember to craft another bait maker for the Squid Fest during winter. Anyways, I fished until I had exactly 7 golden tags, since the prices don't seem to be any different from the vanilla version. And there's 10 different items you can trade in at the festival booth. The rewards you get from the trout derby are nothing too crazy, but I did get this really cool mounted trout and a bucket head, which I give to Emma. Perfect. Back on the farm I crafted a worm bin, which was immediately turned into a deluxe worm bin. Inside the bat cave I caught a stonefish and reached level 8 in farming, finally unlocking the keg crafting recipe. Monday morning I finished the speciality bundle by donating that stonefish and super cucumber. And would you look at that, the reward was a bait maker. Very nice. The dwarf got a topaz for his birthday and then spent the entire day down in the mines looking for copper and iron. And on floor 61, one of the dust sprites dropped a prismatic shard. I didn't even realize it at first because the sprite looks so different. I'm saving that for the Galaxy Sword. 51 was Victor's birthday. He lives in a big mansion right next to Pierre's together with his mom, Olivia. They're rich, and he likes bridges. That's all I know about him. I picked up the gold axe and commissioned a hoe upgrade. Then I was once again occupied in the mines. My luck continued that day, as not only did I get another monster companion, but also a second ancient seed, on the same floor even. I planted it shortly after, crafted my first 2 kegs, which I placed next to a chest, and dumped in all of the coffee beans and hops I've been hoarding so far. And once again, I am so glad I have the automate mod installed. Next day I already collected the first 6 cups of my very own homebrewed coffee, and I am zooming now. With my newfound speed, I rushed over to the wizard and gifted him some void essence. Next stop was Marnie's, where I purchased 4 ducks. Borealis, Bale, Agile, and Exyx. I was very tempted to buy the iridium rod from Willie's shop, but I don't really need it right now, and I don't have any bobbers anyways, so instead I used that money to purchase the first 2 vault bundles. The one for 2,500 and the other for 5,000 gold. Yet again, I went down into the mines, but I wasn't here for too long as I just wanted to finish a request for slaying 1 squid kid. Found a special slime on floor 102. Sadly, he dropped a shadow dagger, which I definitely won't be using. For finishing the request, I got another prize ticket, which earned me a new bed. Super cozy. I added 5 more quality sprinklers to the field next day, commissioned a big barn upgrade from Robin, picked up the copper hoe, then went to Ridgeside for Mr. Aqua's birthday, where I came across a new face, Pipo and his friend Acorn. They're looking for a small girl here in the forest and asked if I saw someone like that. I have not, but Acorn said that the last he sensed her was during nighttime, 1 hour before midnight to be exact. Sure won't forget this immediately and not stumble upon her by pure accident much later. Definitely not. I stopped by the lab where I saw Maddie, who was rude as per usual. You know not everything is about you, right? I'm here for Mr. Aqua, not you. Dropped off the gift, and since I dumped all of my wood on the barn construction, I was busy gathering lumber for the remaining day. This pushed me to level 9 in foraging, and I have new totem recipes unlocked now. Day 54 I collected so-called birch water from the chest next to the tappers. No idea what to do with this yet. I bought an apple and tuna from the traveling merchant. Yes, I know I could have just easily caught the tuna myself, but I was too lazy at the moment. With the tuna I finished the ocean fish bundle, then I was back to gathering wood on the farm. I uncovered a new area to the left side of the map, which had lots of ore and bigger rocks. Probably gonna use this for fish ponds in the future. Saturday morning I crafted my first preserve jar. Just that one, because I am slowly running out of coal. Over at Marnie's I had Deep Blue chicken cutscene with Shane, so they're available for purchase now, which is nice. I was here to buy 2 coats for the newly expanded barn, which I did, Ornstein and Smoke. Once again I am short on iron, so I was back in the mines, resetting floor 60 over and over. And that brings us to day 56, the final day of summer. I purchased a second apple from the traveling cart, corn and wheat seeds from the Joja Mart, so that I don't have that much stress tomorrow morning. Every playthrough I keep forgetting how incredibly long oak resin takes to produce, so it was clear to me that I need to work on a second tree farm ASAP. This time consisting only of oak trees. I made sure to put tree fertilizer on all of them and separated them with paths in between so that they can grow without any issues. Later in the evening it was time for everyone's favorite festival, the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. Of course I made sure to talk with all of the townies for easy friendship points. This always takes forever, and finally we said hello to the jellies and enjoyed the show. On the first day of fall, I had Richard waiting for me outside. He let me know that the Log Cabin Hotel will offer musical entertainment throughout fall and winter. The resident pianist just arrived today, which means I have a new person to meet. But first, I had work to do. I prepped the field, went to the Joja Mart, where I bought a whole bunch of new seeds. A little bit of everything. As you'd expect, planting all of those took up the majority of the day, but I still had enough time left later in the evening to give Lorenzo a birthday present and to meet June, the pianist Richard was talking about. And I'm gonna say it right away, he is up on the list together with Ian to be a potential future husband. On day 58, I picked up my first ancient fruit, crafted 3 more cakes. When I walked into town, I got the cutscene with Mia Lewis and Robin for the special order board, and accepted the Curious Substance quest from the wizard. While there, I caught a tiger trout, and with that completed the riverfish bundle. Then I was busy in the mines. I didn't have any luck with finding the ectoplasm that day, yet somehow I managed to get 2 glow rings in a span of like 4 minutes. Wednesday morning, I gave Richard some clementine juice for his birthday. By now I had all the necessary materials for the Ridgeside minecart system, so I dropped those off and went looking for new forage. While doing that, I stumbled upon the traveling cart, located in the Ridge Forest. Is she always here on Wednesdays? I hope not, because that would be really problematic, since this is like the only time I came here during a Wednesday, and also it doesn't show up on the UI info suite. I already managed to find all of the fall forage for the community center, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Then went once again searching for that ectoplasm, and actually found it after a few hours of looking. I handed it to the wizard shortly after and went back to the mountain lake where I caught a bull trout, walleye and midnight carp. I reached level 9 in farming and fishing that day. Got the crafting recipe for the mini obelisk from the wizard the following day, made another 4 cakes, went over to Ridgeside village where I saw Robin, Clint and Ian repairing the mine system, and right after that had another cutscene where I saw Lenny installing the Ridgeside special order board. Same as in Pelican Town, I can accept weekly tasks from here, though the one from Ridgeside usually have a much bigger time frame, so that's nice. The first request I accepted was from Pika, where he wants me to deliver 5 dishes to 5 different people. Since I was already here, I made that my priority for today. First, a zesty tuna for Richard, a fruity plate for Olga, fried fish for Lorenzo, fried mountain greens for Maeve, and lastly the arugula roll for Ezekiel. Easy peasy. After that I was back to fishing at the mountain lake. I honestly don't remember why I came here, but I'm glad I did because I got a dinosaur egg from a treasure chest. After all those awful treasure chests I've gotten over the past 2 seasons, I finally had a good one. I caught 1 gold quality bass, which let me complete the quality fish bundle. Now I'm only missing the night fishing one, but that'll have to wait until winter. 61 I got my payment for helping Pika yesterday. Picked up another prize ticket in town, which I traded in for those 4 quality sprinklers. Commissioned a deluxe coop upgrade from Robin, bought more pumpkin seeds at Joja, visited Nightingale Orchard where I gave Kimpoi a birthday present and had a look at all the new fruit saplings available to me. A bit out of my price range at the moment, so I'll come back to those a bit later. Other than that, the day was pretty uneventful. And day 62 was also not that special. I had my first eggplant harvest and was busy with foraging and gathering wood. On Sunday, I crafted a butter churner. As the name suggests, it turns milk into butter. Crazy, I know. I got a void egg a while ago which was ready to hatch that day, and I named the little guy Patches. Then incubated the dino egg, found Andy in the Cindersap forest near Aurora Vineyard, where he explained to me that the previous owners, Jerry and Elizabeth, tried their best to keep the vineyard going, but due to an ongoing recession, they couldn't afford to live here anymore. I think at least. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. He goes on about saying that apparently the same thing happened to someone who lived in the tiny house south of Fairhaven Farm, and now there's a freakish cretin of a mouse living there. Excuse you, Andy? First of all, Hat Mouse is precious and the most important member of our society. Second, you cannot convince me that this is an actual farmhouse, like as if anyone lived there. After this uncomfortable cutscene, I bought another apple from the traveling merchant. The wizard gifted me some green tea earlier, which I used to finish the artisan bundle, and while there bought the 10k gold bundle from the vault. I had Gunther visiting me the next morning, where he let me know that thanks to all of my numerous contributions, the Regional Secretary of Artifacts gave the museum a generous donation and that I'll be receiving a small portion of that as well. More money is always great. Today I harvested my amaranth and cranberries, and it is the first day of blackberry season, so I spent a good amount of my time looking for any berries around the Cindersap forest. In town I accepted Willie's Juicy Bug Wanted quest, handed Claire a sunflower for her birthday, and was looking for, yet again, more blackberries. The following day I received a whopping 40,000 gold in the mail from the Secretary of Artifacts. Pretty sure it's illegal to send money in the mail, but thank you very much. a letter from the wizard where he said that he's willing to teach me some light magic now. I'll make sure to visit him later. I made my way over to the community center where I finished the animal bundle, which gave me a freaking auto grabber as a reward. That goes straight into the barn. And with my newfound riches, I at last had enough money to buy the final bundle from the vault, completing another room, making good progress in the community center. The bookseller was in town that day, where I bought The Way of the Wind Part 1 from him because being able to run faster is always nice. I visited Magnus in his chambers where he brewed a potion for me. Thankfully, it wasn't as disgusting as the last one he gave me. With this elixir, I can begin to accumulate mana, which will allow me to cast minor magic. Downstairs, he taught me how to use the shrine and change my appearance. He complimented me on the progress and mentioned that maybe he will teach me even more spells in the future. Back in Pelican Town, I finally came across a special dig spot, which gave me my first broccoli seeds. I was starting to get a bit worried at this point, since I'll need these to finish the fall crop set. The remaining time was spent down in the mines to get started on Willy's quest, and as if the day couldn't get any better, I found another prismatic shard. I am so ready for the Skull Cavern. And speaking about it, after going to bed, I saw the Junimos fixing up the old bus. Before heading to the desert, I stopped by the carpenter where I saw that there's a premium coop upgrade now as well. That's definitely new. It comes with an auto petter, grabber, and a heater. Obviously this is far out of my price range at the moment, but I'm already looking forward to this in the future. I was here to commission a stable. Then I took the bus and went to the Calico Desert for the first time. I said hello to Sandy, even brought her a sweet pea. I picked up any coconuts and cacti on my way and traded my precious shard for the Galaxy Sword. I came somewhat prepared this time, and down I went into the cavern. Already on floor 12, I found a mystery note and got a third prismatic shard. I made sure to murder any purple slimes that I saw in hopes of getting more iridium ore. I actually found a special slime shortly after, which dropped the crystal shoes. More speed? Yes please. My luck ended though on level 23 because this was a spiral floor and I cannot be bothered with that right now, so I'm out of here. That was a very successful first Skull Cavern trip. 67, I dropped off the iridium ore and coal that I found yesterday over at Clint's so that he can finally remove the boulder that is blocking the summit entrance. While there I commissioned a copper watering can, and then I was back in the mines to work on Willy's quest. Despite it being a very bad luck day, I managed to find 2 ancient seeds and make good progress on getting that bug meat. Also leveled up my combat skill. On Friday I had Gus waiting for me outside. He gifted me a mini jukebox, and yes, I know I still haven't upgraded my house. I'll do it eventually. The stable construction was done, and I love how my horse looks. There is only one fitting name for her, and that is of course Roach. It is the only option. The straw hat doesn't fit her at all, so I'll need to buy a different one soon. Together with my new friend, we rode over to Robin's where I commissioned a deluxe barn upgrade. The rest of the money was spent on pumpkin seeds. While running around in Ridgeside, I overheard Maeve scolding Arya for crying during one of her exams. And because she feels ashamed of that, she cried again. Only for Maeve to tell her to pull it together, and then she just left her. Like she just went away. I tried to comfort Arya and just said it's okay to cry, because guess what? It is okay to cry. Doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult, it's totally fine to show emotions. Just saying. What was I doing here again? Oh yes, a very important business. It was June's birthday, and he got one of my finest gold quality coffee beans. After that I visited the summit for the first time. I need to remember to come here at least once a month, as there's seasonal forage in this area. And lastly, I finished Willy's Bug Wanted quest by gathering a total of 100 bug meat. Dropped it all off at the pier and collected yet another prize ticket. On Funny Number Day, I had my first sweet potato harvest. I have no idea where I put the prize ticket that I just got, I couldn't find it, but Alex gave me another one for finishing a request. I traded it for an apple sapling, which I'm gonna save for the greenhouse, an amethyst for Abby's birthday, had the infamous tea room cutscene with her mom Caroline. I should have probably come here a bit sooner, but the tea sapling recipe got a hefty nerf in 1.6, and I personally don't think it's worth selling them anymore. I purchased 2 rabbits from Marnie's, Nephelia and Nile, and the rest of the money was spent on, yet again, more pumpkin seeds. I was back in Ridgeside after that, where I visited Gio's hut and got introduced to Daya, who makes very uncomfortable comments all the time. Not a fan of her. I was tasked to find so-called cursed artifacts within the rich forest. There's quite a few of these that I need to find, and some of them will only show up during specific weather conditions and time of the day. Since I have the Galaxy Sword now, I felt pretty confident, but that changed rather quickly. You see, in this part of the forest, monsters will spawn constantly. Like, I mean constantly. They're super tanky and they hit like a truck, so it's important to not get overrun and try not to spend too much time here. While there's a lot of dangerous enemies around, you can also find good forage and even rare items. So it's worth coming here, sometimes, but not today, as this was an absolute waste of my time. I found none of the items that I need to offer. Not a single one, so I'm out of here. Day 17, I maxed out my farming skill while picking up the pumpkin harvest, collected my new watering can and upgraded my hoe once again. The late morning was spent in Ridgeside, where I had breakfast at Pika's with June. We talked about his home and his very slight coffee obsession. I thanked him for the invitation and then went back to the farm, where I spent the majority of the day. I cleaned up a good chunk of the area, and while doing that, I saw that I had a random mushroom tree spawned in the middle of all of that. After going to bed, I took the artisan profession for farming and maxed out foraging as well, where I went with the botanist perk. On Monday I found the prize ticket that I got from finishing Willie's request the other day. Don't know why it's in the artisan chest, but I'm glad I didn't sell it by accident. In town I accepted Gus's famous omelette request, where he wants me to bring him 24 eggs. In exchange for the ticket I got Friendship 101. Then I was off to the desert for another Skull Cavern trip. On floor 25 I got a seed maker from a treasure chest, which I was very excited about because I'm gonna need that soon. Despite it being a good luck day, I had like 3 spiral floors, which was not fun. I didn't manage to come that far, but that was to be expected, as I still had no bombs nor staircases. But I managed to get at least a little bit of iridium ore, so that's good. The next day I received a letter from Mr. G, who congratulated me for making it to floor 25. I don't know how he knows that, but thanks for the pocket money, I guess. It was the day of the Stardew Valley fair, and just in time my ancient fruit wine was ready. I looked through all of my chests and took out the best items that I had, made my way over to the festival, where I made sure to talk with everyone. Pika even brought his food stall all the way down to Pelican Town, where I bought a Lucky Lunch and Ridgeside Shakatini for future Skull Cavern runs. When I put my items on display, I realized that apparently I'm too stupid to count, as I forgot something. I only have 8 items. You're supposed to bring 9. I've been playing this game for like half a decade now, and I still forget easy things like that. Well, good thing I bought those 2 meals from Pika's, so I put on the Lucky Lunch on display as well, even though that's kinda cheaty since I didn't make it myself. There was a lot of competition here this time. Sophia, Andy, Susan, and of course the people from Ridgeside as well. Yet somehow I still managed to win, and I got the Blue Ribbon achievement for that. First thing I bought was of course a star drop from the festival booth. There was also a new type of furniture catalog that I haven't seen before, but 9,999 star token seems a bit too much. As per usual, I wanted to make sure that I get most of the items from the festival stall so that I don't have to worry about it anymore next year, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a really rough time at the spinning wheel. If you don't know, in the vanilla version of the game, the spinner will almost always land on green, and I'm pretty sure they changed it in the expanded version. I was here for an embarrassing amount of time. The recording was over 40 minutes long. 40 minutes. I kept losing over and over, multiple hundreds of star tokens. I was legitimately getting so angry at some point that I just said, fuck, I don't care about the stupid spinning wheel anymore, and just played the shooting and fishing game. I got the prize ticket and rare crow eventually, and that was enough. I cannot be bothered to spend any more time here, and from now on, I'm gonna have nightmares of that damn spinning wheel. No thank you. Wednesday was more relaxing, thankfully. I bought my first 3 pigs from the ranch, Ed, Sparkly, and Uria. The fairy rose was the last item for the garden bundle, which gave me 3 bee houses as a reward. The focus for today was handing out gifts, both in Pelican Town and Ridgeside. While doing that, I got a cutscene with Ian where he tried to write a letter to his parents, but was struggling a lot with grammar and spelling. Don't worry, I'm also really bad at English, nothing to be ashamed of. And before heading back home, I watched the sunset together with June. 74 was an exciting day. I had everything ready to finish the quality crops and fall crops bundle, thus completing another room and finally unlocking the greenhouse. Well, tomorrow that is. It is mid-fall and I still do not have a pond on my farm, which is not acceptable, criminal almost. So I went over to Robin's and commissioned one. Then I took the bus to the desert for another Skull Cavern trip. And on floor 23, I found an autopetter in a treasure chest. And I might be wrong here, but I think this was the very first time ever that I found an autopetter. Just goes to show how rare these things actually are. Shortly after that, I reached level 8 in combat. I managed to find 2 books while down there as well, which I'm gonna save for the Mastery Cave. And at the end of the day, I saw the little Junimos repairing the greenhouse and a raccoon walking over water. The sweet gemberries were done growing the next day. Also, I forgot to record that bit, but yesterday evening the dino egg hatched and I named him Littlefoot. I picked up the steel hoe at Clint's, opened a few geodes and mystery boxes while there, and donated the new stuff to the museum. Being a Friday, I made sure to stop by the traveling cart, and she blessed me today with a red cabbage seed. Now we can at least finish the dye bundle. After that I had a first look into my newly built greenhouse, and as you can see, it looks a bit different now. I have indeed a greenhouse mod installed, and I think I can even upgrade it, but I need to look into that. I put all of the ancient fruit that I had inside the seed maker, planted a cabbage seed, and a total of 10 ancient seeds. Not too bad. And yes, I know the sprinklers aren't centered. I didn't know that this layout was for quality sprinklers, not iridium ones, which I really wish I knew before crafting the expensive ones, but whatever. Since I had the sweet gemberries now, I made my way into the secret woods where Totoro was waiting for me. He came here in hopes of finding the sweetest taste, so I handed him the berry, and in return he rewarded me with my 3rd star drop. I always wonder how these would taste. And the last thing I did that day was stop by the tavern to drop off the eggs for Gus's request. After this recording, I went to check out the greenhouse mod, and turns out it's not upgradable. Instead, I can just change the size in the mod menu, and that's exactly what I did, which adds another room to the right side. After taking care of my animals, I went up to the cable car because today is the Ridgeside gathering. During this event, the girls and boys both have stalls set up where they sell different items, and it's so worth checking these every time. I got a rare seed, battery pack, and a very cheap iridium sprinkler. The highlight of the festival is the concert later in the evening where we see Abby, Sam, and Seb play together. Once again, rather awkward for me as I watched him play in complete silence. The pond construction was done on 77, where I put in that one sturgeon I had. I'm already thinking ahead for the missing bundle later. I gifted Robin a peach, and I'm sorry, I know it's your birthday, but you have more work to do as I finally commissioned a house upgrade. Down at the beach, I came across Willy, who was using all the bug meat I brought him the other week as bait. That's terrifying, by the way. As a thanks, he showed me how to craft quality bobbers, which is one of the most useless bobbers in the game, but thanks anyways. The rest of my money was spent on starfruit seeds and 3 ice creams, as I need that for the bulletin board. Planted all of them in the greenhouse, and I learned that the plot to the right side is for iridium sprinklers, and that's where I planted the leftover coffee beans I had. Monday was spent in the Skull Caves. All day. Don't really have much to say about this. I found my first prehistoric floor and maxed out my mining skill. Now the only thing that is missing is combat. On day 79, I collected my first rabbit's foot from the coop, accepted the prismatic jelly quest from the wizard, commissioned a gold hoe from Clint, and then went to the mines to start looking for that jelly. Finished another Monster Slayer goal while down there, for Duggies I think it was. I was here for many in-game hours, and actually much later on an infested floor, I found the little bugger. Did not expect to find him on the same day, but that's another special request completed. The following morning I woke up in a bigger house, and what's weird is that somehow my single bed got transformed into a double bed. That's not concerning at all. The house also looks different from the outside, which I adore. I went straight back to the carpenter shop and commissioned a second pond. Dropped off the jelly for the wizard, purchased the butterfly bow from the hat mouse, which I gave to Roach, and she looks adorable. The rest of the day was spent on the farm, gathering wood and stone. The red cabbage was done on 81, got my first fish smoker for trading in the latest price ticket, grabbed the newly upgraded gold hoe and commissioned an iridium pickaxe. Then I tried out the kitchen and made 3 homemade cookies. These got donated to the bulletin board along with the minor treats and ice creams, thus completing the children's bundle, and the dye bundle with the red cabbage. After that I visited Willie's shack, where I purchased the iridium rod along with 2 cork bobbers. Then ventured down into the mines, where after a little while I caught an ice pip. Also, I'm still only at level 9 in fishing, I kinda forgot about that. The ice pip got donated to the bulletin board as well, and that's another bundle completed. It is day 82, and yep, I forgot to record. It wouldn't be a Guiding Pixels 100 days video without me forgetting to record now, would it? So once again, we're back with random stock images in Canva. Luckily, you really didn't miss that much. The second pond was done where I put in a fixer eel because these have a chance to produce battery packs, and I cannot stress how important batteries are in this playthrough. They're one of the rarest resources, so I hope I can get a few from the pond. I was handing out gifts and gathered more wood. In the evening I got a cutscene with Marlon where he congratulated me on getting the Galaxy Sword, and picked up the book Mapping Cave Systems, which is in a room behind him that you can only enter after killing 1,000 enemies. That's it, that was the day. Thanks future me for editing this amazing presentation. On Saturday my pigs found their first and only truffle this season. I harvested all of my pumpkins, went over to Marnie's where I purchased 2 heaters, almost forgot about those, and an auto grabber for the coop. Commissioned another silo from Robin, then just smooched around the farm for a little while, waiting together for Roach or the Spirit's Eve to start. And let me tell you, this is hands down my favorite festival so far. Everyone has their own unique Halloween costumes, and I am obsessed. I had so much fun walking around and looking at each and every person's outfit. Tort is a ninja turtle, Carmen the cookie monster, Pika is Maui from Vaiana, he even has the hook and everything, and my personal favorite is Jodie as Maleficent. Hats up to whoever designed all of these. After marveling at everyone's costumes, it was time for the spooky maze, and if you didn't know, in Expanded the layout is a bit different. I was struggling for a little bit, but made it to the end and eventually grabbed the golden pumpkin from the treasure chest. On day 84 I got 50 soda cans from Andy. Thanks, I guess. Picked up any remaining harvest from the field, made 1 moss soup, and with that finished the wild medicine bundle. I felt adventurous today, so together with Roach, I ventured into the rich forest once more. I did find a couple of new items this time, like this yellow sculpture, lots of mountain mist bloom flowers, and got a teddy bear from this ghost child. I had so many enemies after me at this point that I decided it's time to go back home. See, the longer you stay in the rich forest, the more monsters will spawn. It's also important to slay the enemies that spawn in this area, as they drop so-called spiritual essence, another new resource, but I cannot be bothered with that right now. It is the first day of winter, and look how cute my house is. I love how there's different decorations in every season, it's so good. I had to plant a few carrots in the greenhouse that were done growing today, and with those 15 carrots I completed the fodder bundle, which gave me a freaking autopetter as a reward. Yeah, some of these rewards seem a bit too good, but hey, I'm not complaining. While in town I collected the upgraded pickaxe, my first iridium tool, and then spent most of the day setting up a new sprinkler layout. It's not super optimal and probably not gonna stay like that, but it's fine for now. And when I was done, I realized that was kind of a waste of my time anyways, since I only have 2 powder melon seeds at the moment, but yeah, whatever. 86, I saw Krobos running away from me in the morning, and 2 seconds later I nabbed the magnifying glass from him. Sorry little guy, but I need this more than you do. In town I found a few snow yams by hoeing the ground, and at last finished the crafts room. I accepted a mysterious venture from Marlon where he wants me to bring him different kinds of bombs, then wanted to upgrade my house again, but it's a Robin class today, meaning that Robin wasn't here. So instead I visited Ridgeside to do more foraging, and yes, I forgot to install the winter grass mod. But I don't think I really need it, and it's so much easier to see where all of the forage is without all of the grass. Later in the evening I crafted the requested bombs for Marlon, bought the rest of them from the dwarf since I was missing a few materials, and dropped everything off at the box in the Adventure Guild. When leaving the building I got a cutscene with Marlon, where he told me about Krobos and that he wants me to meet him. Together we made our way over to the sewers and he introduced me to him. Marlon said that I have earned his trust and gifted me a copy of the sewer's key, so now I can visit Krobus whenever I want to. And that's exactly why it's important to befriend Marlon as soon as you can. Linus got an iridium cactus for his birthday, waited for a carpenter to open, where I commissioned that house upgrade. The quarry is open now, which is really great, since I am in dire need of more coal. Can't forget about the quarry mine, where I grabbed the golden scythe from the statue. Later I said hello again to Krobus, where I also brought him a void egg. I cannot afford anything from his shop at the moment, so I'll have to come back later again. On day 88, I got another cutscene with Marlon, where he inspected the bombs I brought him the other day. Turns out they aren't actually for him, but for this guy called Jadu, a wizard from Castle Village. My reward for completing this quest are new decorations, which I can purchase from this book inside Marlon's room. In town I was occupied with fishing, caught a lingcod and perch, then tried for a lava eel down in the mines, and actually got one rather quickly. Since I'm so high level in fishing now, catching wasn't an issue. And lastly, I fished by the beach, where I caught a few squids in preparation for the upcoming squid festival, but also to finish the night fishing bundle, completing the entire fish tank. Now the only thing that is missing is the bulletin board, and it's gonna be tough to finish it within the time frame, simply because of the Book of Stars. I have no idea where I would even try to look for this, as this can only be found in mystery boxes, a quest reward from the raccoon, but he hasn't even shown up yet, and I guess the bookseller. I did check his shop the next day, but he didn't have it in his stock, so tough luck. Blair got a flower for her birthday, then I met a friendly bear in the Cinesep forest. I brought him some maple syrup, and in exchange for that, he shared his beer knowledge with me. That day I took the time to look at every single item that was still missing in the community center. The chef's bundle is no issue, I already have everything except for the cavia. As I said before, the enchanter bundle is tricky with the Book of Stars, but the most problematic one is actually the home cook bundle. Up until this point I haven't paid much attention to this at all, and at that very moment, I realized that the community center is near impossible to complete this year. See, they want me to donate a maple bar, which is a cooking recipe you learn from the Queen of Sauce in year 2. Doesn't really seem that fair to me. I mean, I guess you could find maple bars in trash cans or at a traveling cart. I honestly don't know. Either way, it's unfortunate that I cannot complete the community center this year, but it's fine. Not much I can do about it. I already have the greenhouse, which is the most important reward anyways, but yeah, not gonna lie, this kinda annoyed me a little bit. Anyways, on Saturday I woke up in a very empty, but also a lot bigger house. I'll decorate once I have a bit more money again. I commissioned a steel watering can from Clint, got the copper pan from Willy, not that I really care about panning, but now I have it. Then spent a few in-game hours in the Skull Cavern to work on my combat level. I harvested my starfruit and pumpkins on 91, bought a very cheap seafoam pudding from the traveling merchant, and mostly just cleaned up debris on the farm. Day 92 was the Festival of Ice, and this is probably my least favorite event. I don't know why, just not a fan. I purchased a rare crow and pumpkin soup from a stall, then started the fishing competition where I won by catching 6 slimy fish. 93 I spent all my money on starfruit seeds, 85 to be exact. It was a good luck day, so naturally I was in the Skull Cavern again, making sure to slay every single enemy on each floor for that sweet combat experience. The next morning I crafted my first iridium band, which I swapped out with the magnet ring. After going to bed yesterday, there was a fierce windstorm overnight, which means one of the big trees near the ranch was gone by now. But with 100 pieces of hardwood I could turn it into something useful, which I brought over right away since I am very eager to finally meet the raccoon. While strolling around town, I came across Sophia, who was noticeably in a very sad mood. To cheer her up, I asked if she wanted to pet Dusty, which thankfully seemed to do the trick. At the special order board, I accepted Gunther's Fragment of the Past quest, picked up the steel watering can, planted the starfruit in the greenhouse, and lastly ventured into the mines to start collecting those bones. Which continued on 95. This was done rather quickly, as this time I came with a glass of monster musk. I handed Gunther the 100 pieces of bones, picked up another prize ticket, which earned me the Stardew Valley Almanac. Not that I need the farming XP anymore, but it will come in handy very soon. The following day I got the bone meal recipe from Gunther, collected the first batch of ancient fruit in the greenhouse, which was turned into more seeds for planting. On my way to the traveling cart, I saw that the raccoon already moved in. The requested items will have to wait a bit because today is the first day of the annual Squid Festival. I popped in the 2 squids into the bait maker, which I safely put into my inventory again. I don't want anyone destroying more of my machines. And then just fished at the beach. Cue the fishing montage. After I caught 10 squid, I collected my rewards from the festival booth. Before going to bed, I handed out a few gifts at the Stardrop Saloon, where I had a cutscene with June, who was smoking a cigarette outside. I had no idea that he smoked, but when I asked about it, he just said that he doesn't smoke. But like, dude, I saw you holding a cigarette. Turns out that he was actually a bit drunk, because Gus had a special rice wine in store, which reminded him about the time when he used to live in Zuzu City. Now there's an expansion mod that I haven't tried out. He said that he missed the lifestyle that he used to have back in the city. I had no idea that June used to be such a party animal. I mean, I never really liked going out, nor smoking, so I can't really relate to that. On Saturday I finally remembered to buy the star drop from Krobus, and then did more squid hunting. One of the rewards that day was a seafoam pudding, which is always great to have. I tried to put the squid hat on Roach, but it looked kinda weird, so she'll be keeping the bow. I stayed at the beach until I reached fishing level 10, and now the only skill that isn't maxed out is combat. Harvey got a cup of coffee for his birthday on 98, purchased a few ingredients from Pierce, and with the rice made 1 maki roll. This allowed me to finish the chef's bundle. Being a Sunday, I traded my jade to the desert trader for 35 staircases. Then it was time for more Skull Cavern exploration, and today it happened. On floor 42, I maxed out my combat skill. You know what that means, I am finally allowed to enter the Mastery Cave, and can collect Mastery points from now on. I grabbed all the books I've been hoarding so far, but the XP that I got from them wasn't even enough for 1,000 points, and I need 10,000 points, so yeah, this is gonna take a while. I visited the blacksmith where I commissioned an iridium axe, opened geodes and mystery boxes while there, which gave me a few new items to donate. Accepted Robin's project where she wants me to gather 80 pieces of hardwood, harvested and replanted more winter seeds, then wanted to start on collecting that hardwood, but remembered that I don't have my axe with me at the moment, so oops. Instead I went to Ridgeside village, where I visited Lenny in her office. She complimented me on my work at Moonlight Farm, and thanks to me, there's been more tourists in Ridgeside lately. And more tourists means more income for the town. She's been saving some funds to rebuild one of the local greenhouses, and has the money now, but is missing a few materials for that. Finally! I have been waiting for this. The materials are nothing too complicated, just loads of iron bars and a bit of hardwood and stone. I already have everything except for the iron, so I got to smelt in the bars right after that. Also crafted more furnaces while at it. Later in the evening I made my way over to the beach to check out the first day of the night market. I bought a few decorations from the vendors and then went fishing in the submarine, where I caught a midnight squid, blobfish and spookfish. Day 100 is upon us, and I already had all the necessary materials for the community greenhouse project, so looking forward to that. I crafted more wooden paths for the farm, commissioned a shed from Robin, and later mingled at the night market again. On Wednesday I gave the wizard a purple mushroom for his birthday, picked up my shiny new iridium axe, collected the hardwood for Robin. This was done super fast, thanks to the planted trees and stumps around the farm. One last time I was back at the night market, and thank God I came here today because the traveling merchant actually had a maple bar for sale. Maybe I can finish the community center after all. Upon visiting Ridgeside the next day, I saw that the greenhouse constructions were already finished. As Lenny mentioned before, this is a community greenhouse, meaning that other people in here also have their designated spots, and mine is the huge one to the left side. Well deserved I think, since I contributed all the materials for it. I have no idea what to plant in here yet, so I'll come back to this in a few days again. After that I went to Robin's where I commissioned a second barn, and while there, treated myself and bought the Orange Blossom Furniture Catalog. I've never used a furniture mod before, so I was extremely excited to test this out, and to finally get started on decorating the house. As you could have probably guessed, this took quite a while, getting used to the Happy Home Designer menu as well, since I never used that before. But yeah, I was super happy with the end results. I'm a huge fan of the aesthetics of this mod. It looks different, but not too different. Don't know if I'm gonna leave it like that, since I have a few other furniture mods as well, but it's a great start. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the furniture style. On 103, I went to Heap's general store in the morning, where I bought some deluxe speed grow, which was used in the greenhouse to plant more ancient fruit. I commissioned a gold watering can from Clint and went on a deforestation spree around the Cindersap forest. Cooked one baked fish and glazed yams the next day for the home cook bundle. The only thing that is missing now is the cranberry candy, which is a recipe I'll unlock soon. Today I put the first sprinklers into the community greenhouse, and if you're wondering why I'm using quality sprinklers instead of iridium ones, it's because I'm trying to save my batteries. As mentioned before, batteries are super valuable, and I want to have Grandpa's shed repaired as soon as I can, but for that I need 20 batteries, and currently I either have 18 or 19, so that's why I don't want to craft any more iridium sprinklers. 105, I commissioned a big barn upgrade, bought over 100 starfruit seeds, planted those in a greenhouse, then I thought it was a good idea to explore in the Ridge Forest since it was a good luck day. Turns out it was not a good luck day, it was a terrible idea to come here because I died. Skill issue, I know. I got lost at some point and couldn't find my way back anymore, and I tried to eat something to not die, but those freaking ghosts inflict the nauseated? Is that how you say it?
Nauseated
debuff on you, which lasts several real-time minutes. I'm not mad. Not mad. Just a little pissed. Anyways, at least I managed to find one new artifact, so yay. Moving on to 106, where I picked up my new watering can. I accepted Robin's resource rush, where she wants me to collect 1,000 wood. Easy quest, and I need the wood anyways. But before gathering all of that, I had another special request from Ridgeside, where Maddie is in need of 20 bug meat. So I spent the majority of the day in the regular mines looking for insects and bugs. This took a lot longer than I thought it would, and I'm really unsure if this was worth the effort because this only gave me 10,000 gold as a reward. At least it's done now. I had my first biggest starfruit harvest in the greenhouse ready. Down at the beach, I stumbled upon June. He wanted to talk with me about the other day when I caught him smoking in front of the saloon. Back when he used to live in Zozo City, he worked at a jazz bar, which he really enjoyed doing. It was his dream job after all, but something felt off about it, he said. He picked up the habit of smoking back at that time, but he couldn't even remember when or why he started in the first place. June didn't like the person he'd become and decided it was time for a change. That's why he came here to the valley. For some reason he felt really ashamed of me seeing him smoking, but I just told him that he's my friend, and that's not gonna change anything about that. After that I was back in the Cindersap forest to gather wood. This was done in no time flash, thanks to the iridium axe. The prize ticket I collected gave me 8 Omni Geodes, which is great since I needed those for the Fixer Eel Pond. Lastly, I decorated more around the house. Wednesday was very uneventful. I commissioned the final barn upgrade from the carpenter and also moved some of the animal buildings around, and then just cleaned up on the farm. Day 109 was the Feast of the Winter Star event. I handed Susan one pink cake as her gift, and Andy also gifted me a pink cake. I've had much worse before, so I can't really complain about that. The following morning I visited Rasmodius at his tower, where we discussed the ancient magic regarding Lunna. Who is Lunna, you ask? Well, I'm not really sure myself. She's one of the modded villagers who lives right next to the wizard's tower, which I just haven't noticed up until this point. And the reason why I haven't mentioned her yet is because I barely interacted with her. Anyways, he asked if I plan to romantically pursue Lunna. Bit upfront, don't you think? But the answer is a no. Then he just told me to bug off. No, seriously, he told me to leave after that, so that was a waste of my time. I picked up the lucky charm from the Georgia truck that day in exchange for a rabbit's foot. Finally had all the items for the first raccoon request, 1 smoked perch and 5 snails. For that he gave me 25 carrot seeds. The next day I got a letter from the wizard where he asks me to come and visit him again. My guy, I was just there yesterday. More importantly, Pam sent me a battery. I most certainly can use this, thank you very much. Now I'm missing one more to get started on the shed repairs. After tending to my animals, I was off to the tower again. The meeting was so urgent because he discovered that Lunna's magic is related to Junimo magic. Magnus showed me the place where he found Lunna a while ago. She told him that he comes from a place called Umui, and that certain events led her to jump into a lake, and she woke up here in this spot and was a human all of a sudden. The wizard opened a portal to the other realm, and together we passed through. At the other side is a whole new area, which I assume is Umui. I'm not sure. I'm not too up to date with the expanded lore, but I am curious if I can return to this place again at some point. After that I commissioned a big shed from Robin, gave Sophia and Irene a birthday present, then just chilled on the farm. No pun intended. And here we are on day 112, the final day of the year. From the Queen of Sauce I learned the cranberry cooking recipe, got my first mastery point upon picking up the roe from the fish ponds, and went straight over to the mastery cave. This is always a tough choice, since most of these are very handy to have, especially the farming one, but same as last time, I went with the combat mastery. I need my little parrot companion by my side. After that I was off to the community center, where I finished the home cooks bundle by donating the cranberry candy. Now the only thing is missing is the darn enchanter bundle with the Book of Stars. Again, very unfortunate that we couldn't finish everything this year, but it is what it is. I said my goodbyes to June, as he'll be leaving Ridgeside and travel back home for spring and summer, then was running around the farm together with Roach, marveling at everything I accomplished so far. Later in the evening it was time for the Ember of Resolutions festival. I always thought it was a bit weird that vanilla Stardew doesn't have a New Year's event, so I'm a huge fan of this. The highlight of the festival is the bonfire. Everyone from Pelican Town and Ridgeside brought one piece of wood that gets lit ablaze to burn away what we wish to leave behind and welcome the new year with new dreams and wishes. I put down my block of lumber, thought about my New Year's resolutions, which are of course to hopefully finish the community center soon, and together we watched this massive fire spectacle, which has to be a safety hazard by the way, this cannot be legal, and went to bed one last time this year. And that concludes my first year in Stardew Valley Mega Modded. I hope you enjoyed watching. Again, I'm really sorry that I had to split the video into two parts. I will probably merge both of them into one large movie, so that it's more convenient to watch. Let me know in the comments down below who I should romance in year 2. I still haven't decided on that, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.